Alright, so let's do gigs. And the first one will be a task of all the gigs. So we will return a collection of all gigs that are available for an event. So I'll call it get gigs by event. Now we don't need to actually have a method that returns all the gigs because that would be very undescriptive. What would we do with an information that these are all the gigs available without actually knowing what event each of the gigs belongs to? So therefore we will simply have a method that gets the gigs by the event. So here we of course need to pass in the event ID first, so we know what event we are looking for, and then we can pass a optional parameter. Again, it's going to be a boolean, and this time we want to know if the user wants to include the comedians for the gig, and we'll assume that it's going to be a false and the user only wants the gigs by the events. But of course, if the user changes this to true, we will also return the comedians for that event as well. So the next one will be a task of type gig again, and this is going to be a single gig. We will simply return a gig by event. So just like we return over here get event, this is going to be get gig, but we will also add by event, because again a gig alone means really nothing as far as the information goes. We want to associate it with the event. So we will pass the event ID, and once again I will also pass the boolean for include comedians. And finally we'll have a task for gig, and this is going to be a collection of gigs that we can call get gigs by venue. And this one will of course return all the gigs that will be done in that particular venue. So we need to pass in the venue ID, and once again we can include the comedians as well. And the last set of methods will be for the comedians, so let's do that next.